Hi everyone, my name is Amina Khan. This is my student card. Today I'm going to be doing a video for psychology about the developmental learning gap in literacy as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. So in this video we look at the issues and the challenges learners face during COVID-19, and then we use a support plan and show ways in which we can support these learners and help improve their literacy abilities. So we now look at the issues and challenges faced during COVID-19. So we now look at some of the background of COVID-19. So as you know, COVID-19 started in March 2020, where the whole country, well actually the whole world was on a lockdown. So during this lockdown, everyone had to stay at home, nothing was open, schools were closed, learners had to wear masks, learners had to social distance, there was no contact learning, no face-to-face learning. Because all schools were closed, there was no learning and teaching which took place physically, but online learning was now introduced. This was something different to learners as they were not exposed to online learning before. So online learning was sort of different because, when you're in a classroom, a teacher is there to support you, to help you understand when you don't know concepts. She finds better ways to teach it to you. There's no proper instructions, and online learning is so much different to that because a teacher cannot give you individual attention at this time. So the challenges that learners faced for online learning was they didn't have, not all of them had access to it also. So learners struggled with alphabet sounds and pronunciation. So because learners struggled with pronunciation, they were unable to read properly as they couldn't pronounce words. They also couldn't identify word sounds and word recognition. So when you're in a classroom, a teacher is there. So when she's teaching phonics, she puts the sound, she puts the letter of the word up. She'll write, like if you're teaching A, you write the letter A. The teacher's going to put a picture of an apple maybe, so then the learners are going to look at it, so they're going to know A is for apple, they're going to know how the word A looks. This way they're also looking at the way the teacher pronounces the word, the sound it makes, so learners are able to see this, and they have practice because the teacher would use repetition a lot. The whole class will say the word together, the teacher will say it with the class. So this will help them identify their sounds and help them with their pronunciation because they're getting enough practice. Then learners also struggled with reading and writing, as learners were not exposed to so much of reading during the COVID time as they were at home. And when you're at home, you're not going to take a book and read every day. Like when you're in the classroom, learners do group reading. The teacher's always testing the learners by making them read their sentences, or the teacher is allowing them to come up and read a book to the class, or they have some sort of reading in the classroom, but at home it's very different. The pace of their writing also gets slow, as when they're at school they're writing the whole day, and now when you're at home during the COVID-19, you're not writing all the time because your learning is now online based, and you're not like copying words from the board, so your spelling doesn't get improved. You don't have word recognition also. This also affected learners' results, as they were failing behind in reading and their results were getting bad because the literacy was affected, and literacy affects everything because without reading and writing and spelling and stuff, you can't do other subjects also. You do bad in everything. Our learners also did not have access to technology, so this is also how they were unable to access online learning, as some people could live in rural areas where they don't have internet connection. They also couldn't have access to cell phones or tablets or computers to allow for the online teaching to happen, or they couldn't afford Wi-Fi. So there was a lot of problems that they did face. Then we look at the learners experiencing an environmental gap. So, in the classroom setting, you're in a classroom, you're following rules and regulations, you're wearing a uniform, you're going to school to learn, to get an education, you're serious about it. Whereas you're at home it's a home environment, it's a playful environment, you're wearing your color clothes, you're not really interested, and you won't be that focused in learning the way you are at school. So it's a huge gap for learners. Then we look at the communication gap. So at school you can communicate with the teacher, you can tell her you don't understand it, she's going to give you extra resources. Whereas online, once the lesson is over, it's over, you can't ask questions, the teacher cannot give you individual attention. So it was very different for learners. So learners really struggled with the online teaching. An example, if the teacher was teaching phonics to the learners, if the teacher was teaching phonics to the learners in the classroom, the teacher would notice that she would put the word of the phonics there. The learners would look at it, they would say the word, so there's repetition. uh, Learners also lacked fluency, so because they were not into reading so much, they weren't able to read fluently. Their phonemics awareness was affected, their phonics were affected because they couldn't pronounce sounds and words. They also had a problem with understanding how to spell, and they had a problem because they couldn't read properly. Their comprehension was also affected. We now look at the action plan to address the learning gap in literacy. So we look at Fernstein's theory here. He believed that learning could take place through mediated learning. So a mediator is a person who can be your parents, your teacher, your grandparents, your siblings. All of them can be a mediator in your life to help you learn in a meaningful way. We also look at how learning can be done through scaffolding. Learning could be done in an active way. It can be done hands-on. So we have a support system planned which would help promote teaching and learning in a students' schooling environment. So we look at community support. So community support, we look at how the community can play an active role in helping learners and supporting their literacy skills. So say if there's teachers in the community, the teachers in the community can get together, maybe host some extra tuitions for learners who have literacy problems such as reading and writing. The community can allow learners to take a space somewhere where they can sit together with this teacher, and the teacher can do maybe some reading with them, or they could do some extra curriculum work such as extra worksheets to help them practice at skills they're bad at. We then look at parent support. So parent support comes from your family members, your caregivers, your siblings at home. Parents can also attend workshops where they can be shown how to help their child better their literacy, and parents can also play an active role by maybe asking their child to read bedtime stories to them. For the child, the parents can also ask the teacher for extra worksheets so the child can get practice in stuff they're bad at. So this would improve. We then look at the educator support. So the teacher can form device plans to help support the learners. The teacher can also use something called the individualized support program where she can help the learners in their literacy. The teacher can also keep the learners in after school, give them extra tuitions, ask them where they're having a problem or check where they're having a problem, and give them extra worksheets that's going to help them. The teacher can also sit one-on-one individually and test them so she knows their progress. Then the school support, the school can keep resources which are easy accessible and affordable so the learners can access them and use them. The Department of Education, they can provide resources and texts and for reading and stuff which are easy accessible to the learner and the teacher at school. The Department of Education can also have a mobile library which can go into the communities. Also, the Department of Education could host like reading along at libraries throughout the country, like little competitions, or host for the library to test learners on reading competitions, etc. This would encourage and motivate learners to go to the library, borrow books, and improve their reading. Also, the access to technology at home. If learners have tablets and Wi-Fi and internet connection, YouTube really helps. Learners will be able to use YouTube and to watch education programs. This will help with their pronunciation, help them understand stuff better. And the Department of Education should actually allow schools to have free access to Wi-Fi and allow them to have robotics, and schools should have smartboards, as smartboards are the way to go, and this will help learners because smartboards are very interactive learning and learners could get more support from it also. Also, specialist support such as a psychologist or speech therapist or an occupational therapist. The teacher or the parents could take the children to this or introduce the child to this, so the teacher would know where the child is having a learning problem in case they have a learning disability. Therefore, the teacher can concentrate on that and help the child better their problem and see in which areas they need specific help in. Also, a program support could be used where more skilled teachers are needed, such as teacher assistants. So there are more help in the classroom, and the teacher assistants can help the teacher more and support other children in the classroom when they do have problems. And this is my reference list. Thank you.